Now that Christie has dropped out, it's really a three-horse race in Iowa. Donald Trump way out ahead with Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis in second and third. And it was much of an uneventful debate, really, tonight, missing some of the snipes that we've seen in numerous debates before. And the main person missing, once again, was Donald Trump. He decided to have a town hall with Fox News just down the road in Des Moines, Iowa. And whenever his name was mentioned, both candidates seemed to bristle somewhat and almost try to move on. Neither really offered any strong condemnation of Donald Trump or anything that he's accused of legally. There was one moment which was newsworthy where Nikki Haley said that Donald Trump lost the election in 2020 and that he would have to answer for January the 6th, the insurrection that we saw at the Capitol. Ron DeSantis gave a much more lukewarm answer. He didn't really answer the question as to whether he saw the Constitution of the US differently to Donald Trump and didn't directly condemn Donald Trump either. In fact, in some ways, he kind of echoed Donald Trump, saying that they needed to build the wall on the southern border with Mexico and said that government agencies have been weaponized, notably the Department of Justice. And DeSantis so far has basically tried to out-Trump Trump. That's been his MO since he got into this race. But his message hasn't really been landing. We've seen him sliding in the polls. He's now in third place in most recent polls coming out of Iowa. So they mainly traded jabs on things like immigration, tax, foreign policy as well. But like I said, otherwise a relatively uneventful debate. It really is a race for second place at this point. Donald Trump is so far ahead in Iowa that both candidates are basically vying for a second position. Some analysts saying that they're actually vying for the vice president's job. Trump himself today said that he's already made up his mind of who he wants his vice president to be. Nikki Haley has refused to say whether she would accept Donald Trump's offer were he to offer it to her. But something to watch as we go forward into Iowa on Monday.
But it perhaps gives that sense of why both candidates are accused of pulling punches when it comes to Christie being the only one in the past to really go out there, pretty venomously attacking Donald Trump. Give us a sense of his moment today and that parting shot that he made.
Christie probably is the person who's made the most news today, even though this debate took place just hours after he suspended his presidential campaign. It really was his suspension that people have been talking about, really. Christie was the only vocal critic of Donald Trump in the Republican field, and he chastised other contenders for the nomination and even Republican lawmakers for not condemning Donald Trump, including Tom Emmer, who just recently gave Trump his endorsement, even though Trump had tried to tank his effort to become Speaker of the House just weeks ago. Christie said, quote, "Anyone who is unwilling to say that Donald Trump is unfit to be president of the United States is unfit to be president of the United States themselves." Christie said basically he had no path to winning, and that's why he was deciding to suspend his campaign, saying, "I'm going to make sure that in no way do I enable Donald Trump ever to be president of the United States again, and that's more important than my own personal ambition." Notably, there has been a lack of endorsement from Christie. This was a very different kind of speech to what you normally expect when somebody suspends their campaign. He didn't say that his followers and his voters should vote for somebody else. The person who would stand to inherit his voters would be Nikki Haley. That's who most of his voters say is their second choice to be their president. However, there was a very interesting and revealing moment just before that announcement where he was caught on a hot mic saying that, quote, Nikki Haley would be smoked by Donald Trump. And he said, quote, "She's not up to this." And Donald Trump said that he believes Christie is right. When he was asked about it in the town hall, he said, "I actually agree with Christie," and said it's one of the few things he thinks Christie's got right in recent months. So Christie's voters might not have an impact in this Iowa caucus coming up on Monday, but where they could have an impact is the week after in New Hampshire. That's where Christie has really spent all of his time. He's not set foot in Iowa once since this entire election campaign. So it could be interesting to see whether his voters go for Nikki Haley, because right now Nikki Haley is just single digits behind Donald Trump in New Hampshire, and Christie is running around 12%. So that really could sway things.